Well, Professor Wayne Smith, you are right, and it's starting to happen. We are now starting to see reports from cities and counties and states now reporting that they're experiencing a budget shortfall. And why are they experiencing a budget shortfall? It's because we stopped visiting them. Cities and states and counties, they've relied on our hotel and tourism and tax revenue. And it was almost like an automatic thing for them every year. They just expect us to always come back. Well, it seems like this year they have a bit of a problem. I'm going to talk about this a little bit more and show what San Diego is doing. Now, before I start, a few videos ago, or it might have even been yesterday, I can't keep track, but I posted a screenshot and someone posted this in my subreddit. Basically more maple washing. And this is with the company Joyburst. You can clearly see on the can that they have a proudly Canadian stamp on it. But if you read the fine print, it says made in the United States from domestic and imported ingredients. Someone in the subreddit also pointed out, in their FAQ section of their website, there's a question, where are Joyburst products made? So let me read it out to you. Joyburst is proudly Canadian. Our products are crafted with care in both Canada and Mexico using high quality, globally sourced ingredients. With every sip, we celebrate our Canadian roots while also partnering with trusted manufacturing in Mexico to bring you top-notch products made with integrity. Now, I suck at rating, but I'm pretty sure that says made in the United States from domestic and imported ingredients. But when I woke up this morning, I had a few messages from the community, and they basically said their FAQ page changed. Let me read out the new one to you. Our company is Canadian-owned and headquartered in Canada. Product design, development, and business operations are led by our Canadian team. Manufacturing takes place in multiple North American locations, including Canada, the United States, and Mexico. We are transparent about this. Really? Because we believe being Canadian is about more than a single production address. It's about how we operate, who we employ, and how we show up for our customers and communities. I'm sorry, but I don't buy that. I think it's been changed because you guys got caught. And your definition about being Canadian is something that I don't agree with. You can have production addresses anywhere in the world, but choosing the one that's trying to annex us, tariff us, and treat us with disrespect is something that I do not agree with. And it's also not very Canadian at the moment. Now, I'm not sure if I made a difference on this, but it is very suspicious that overnight they made a change. But regardless of that, this just proves that if we are vocal, we can make a change. And that Canadians are not going to stand for this bullshit anymore. I don't drink their products, so it's not going to affect me. But if you do drink their products, you might want to think about this situation and see whether or not you want to continue or not. So if you do see products like this as being maple washed, send them over my way, and I will be happy to feature them in my channel. Now let's get to the report on San Diego, who are now realizing that the budget crunch that they're experiencing is because of the lack of tourism in 2025.
We begin tonight with San Diego's budget problems getting worse. The city of San Diego is now projecting a nearly $17 million shortfall. Good evening, I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. This budget shortfall is separate from the $110 million projected deficit that the city was already facing for the upcoming fiscal year. City leaders are set to discuss the issue tomorrow morning as questions grow about how soon service cuts could hit.
CBS 8's Richard Allen is here with more on what's driving this new budget hole and the impact it could mean for residents. Richard?
And Carlo and Marcella, this could mean that service cuts, which were supposed to take effect on July 1st, the start of the new fiscal year, could kick in much sooner than that. Now, one of the leading factors behind this new shortfall, lower projected revenue from hotel taxes, spurred by a drop in international travel to America's finest city.
Yeah, I don't know about the finest city, but it seems like every city in the US says that about themselves. But I've had dozens of Canadians email me over the past, 6 months, asking me whether or not our efforts are actually making a difference. Well, this is clear evidence that it actually is making a difference. When we don't go to the United States and we're not booking hotels, they are not getting revenue. And what we see is that they're having a budget shortfall now. But look at it this way as well. I know we all want like 100% no Canadians going to the US, and that's just not going to happen. There's too many people that really don't give a shit, and not enough standing up for Canada. But at the same time as well, for those of us that are not going down, we're still making a difference. That one trip that you usually make to the United States that you didn't do, that contributed to this as well. So every little bit matters when it comes to the boycott. And even at the percentages of Canadians going down at the moment, it's still causing big damage.
Right now, there's just a lot of uncertainty in terms of the international economy.
That uncertainty means fewer tourists coming to San Diego to spend money on hotels, restaurants, and tourist attractions, a decline that's also driven by some of the federal government's actions, from tariffs to rhetoric about annexing Canada, that are turning some international travelers away.
There's been a negative reaction to policies in the U.S., and as a result of that, we've seen a decline in travelers to the U.S., and San Diego, being a prime destination, has suffered the impacts as far as that's concerned.
Notice how they blame the international economy first? Like the issue is with us instead first, that we can't afford it? That's how I took it. I don't know about you guys, but I get the vibe that the United States still feels like there's nothing that they've done wrong, and they're trying to blame it on something else. But at least this report did blame a little bit on the Orange McNugget, and that is one of the main reasons why I am boycotting. It's not because of our own international economy. Now, you know what? That international economy excuse is bullshit. Because we're still traveling everywhere and anywhere else but the United States. Our flight numbers prove it, that Canadians are still traveling, just not to the United States. I don't know why, that really bothers me.
USD Professor of Economics Alan Jin says because tourism is so crucial to the local economy, this decline in visitors is even more detrimental.
In terms of international tourism, I would expect that San Diego would be disproportionately affected then by any sort of boycott of the U.S.
And these projected deficits demonstrate that, with hotel tax revenues falling by $7.4 million. Also behind this new budget shortfall, less money flowing into city coffers from paid parking in Balboa Park. While the city had expected the new and unpopular plan to charge for parking to generate $12.5 million in the current fiscal year, that figure is now dropping by nearly $9 million.
So if I heard that correctly, they're now redirecting and trying to get money from the parking lots, which they probably didn't need to do if tourists are still around. If I was a local resident, I would be pissed. But not pissed at the tourists, pissed at their administration for causing this.
Due to a number of factors, from delaying its start to now offering free 3-hour parking at Inspiration Point. The city has also spent nearly $13 million more than expected on overtime for police and fire department workers, but some of that has been offset by savings in areas like city contracts. This projected deficit, totaling $16.8 million, will likely mean that service cuts not expected to occur until the start of the new fiscal year in July will now take effect much sooner.
It's a big deficit. The city doesn't have much in terms of reserves, and so it could hurt in areas like parks and libraries.
And at this point, though, we don't know exactly what services could potentially be cut. Now, that could come up for discussion tomorrow morning, though, when the city's budget committee takes up these projected shortfalls at its meeting. And that starts at 9 a.m. at City Hall. And of course, the public is welcome to attend.
San Diego, we hear rely on tourism. So getting back to those tourism numbers, is that drop in revenue here in San Diego expected to last for quite a bit when it comes to those international visitors?
Well, that's a good question. So an analysis put out by the city points out that perhaps later in the year, we could see a rebound in international travel. Some economists agree. In fact, Dr. Jin, who we spoke to from USD, he pointed out that right now the U.S. dollar is weakening in value. So that means for some countries, traveling to the United States is sort of a deal, right? So some travelers may overcome their political objections for a better deal. Hopefully that means they would come to the United States, hopefully here to San Diego.
Really feeling that impact, though.
We are, yes.
What kind of hopium twisted bullshit is that? Now they're saying that the US dollar is going down, so that's going to convince people to come to the US. Why does it always have to be about the dollar? Why do they not see that it's about their stupid president, the pack of wolves named ICE roaming around, the power tripping from the CBP agents, and the 77 million people who voted for the Orange McNugget that are supporting all of this chaos that your country is going through? It's a twisted narrative that this reporter just said that really kind of ticks me off, and it really fuels my boycott even more. You are not the greatest country in the world, and you do not speak for us. So please don't assume that you know what we're thinking about and what we're going to do. But I appreciate you refilling my boycott tank and reaffirming why my stance is never going to change. Okay, everyone, that's all I got for today's video. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on it, and if you agree with me on my points. Are you also tired of the US media making assumptions for what we think, or am I just nitpicking on this? Let me know in the comments below. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian point of view, help my channel out by hitting the like and subscribe button below. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one.